genes of you and me. They're all made of DNA. We're all made of the same chemical DNA. We're all made of DNA.
Hello, and welcome to the third episode of Discovering New Advances, or DNA, a podcast that keeps you up to date on the world of genetics in an easy-to-understand language. So whether you're a student in middle school or a grandparent, you will easily be able to follow along. I'm Kira, and on this episode, I will give an introduction lesson on genetic pedigrees. The following episodes will either keep you updated on genetic advances in the scientific world or teach more lessons on genetics. So if you are already familiar with how to draw and read genetic pedigrees, you can skip to the following episodes about news on the genetic advances happening today and how it is affecting our world. For more information, please visit dnapodcast.com or email in at info@dnapodcast.com. Again, that's dnapodcast.com. I want to thank Melody Sheep for providing the intro music. On this episode, as I mentioned earlier, we'll be learning how to read and draw genetic pedigrees. Before we do that, let's figure out what a pedigree is. It's simply a chart of genetic history of a family over several generations. When looking at any type of map, graph, or chart, we need a key. In a pedigree, there are a few different aspects you should be aware of. First off, females are represented with a circle, and males are represented by a square. A triangle represents a person whose gender was unknown. When showing that a male and female reproduce, you would draw a line connecting the two horizontally. To represent their offspring, a line is drawn vertically from the middle of the horizontal line connecting the parents. At the end of that vertical line, another horizontal line should be drawn, and each child would be under that and connected by their own vertical line. Like I said before, the females are represented by circles and the males are represented by squares. So when a circle or square is colored in, that means that organism is affected by whatever trait or disease you are tracking. If the circle or square is only half colored in, that shows that organism is a carrier of the trait or disease. I've explained on previous episodes that when a person is a carrier, they have the heterozygous genotype. If the person has full color or no color, they are homozygous genotype. There's another symbol to be aware of. To show if someone has died, draw a line from the upper left-hand corner to the lower right-hand corner through their figure. Some trends in pedigrees are autosomal or X-linked, also known as sex-linked. An autosomal disease affects both men and women and is usually represented in the pedigree as a 50-50 ratio between genders. An X-linked or sex-linked disease is shown if most of the males are affected by the disease. To be able to interpret the graph, you also need to realize how dominant and recessive genes work. If a disease is dominant, one of the parents must have the disorder for the child to be affected by the disorder. If the parent has the gene for the disease and it is dominant, it rules over any recessive gene they may have. Therefore, they will be affected by the disorder. If the disorder is recessive, the parents do not need to have this disorder in order for the child to be affected by it. This is because both parents could be heterozygous and be a carrier without being affected themselves. So if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, feel free to email in at info@dnapodcast.com. Please visit dnapodcast.com for more episodes and this lesson along with others, not only in audio format but also in written format. There is also a contact form there for easy access to send in feedback about the show or any questions you might have. Or you can email directly at info@dnapodcast.com. So to keep in contact with the show, you can like it on Facebook and follow it on Twitter, both at /DNA Podcast. Please drop a review on iTunes. It is highly appreciated and the best way to attract subscribers so others like yourself can benefit from the show. You can find all those links I mentioned on the website, dnapodcast.com. Thanks for listening and join me next episode to learn and discover new advances in the world of genetics.